This just takes me back to the realization that this song she's playing, it's You Are the Reason, right? And a round of applause to everyone gathered here, because you are literally the reason why we are here today. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Hersurred 2026 by Leadway. My name is Anastasia Rafua, and I will graciously be your host today. I'm so honored. I have a quick task for you, though. Could you please look around the room? Just a quick scan. What fills the room? I bet that the first thing that will come to your head is women, right? Yeah, okay, great. But I'm not just seeing women in this room today. I am seeing ambitious, I am seeing brilliant, I am seeing strategic visionaries, and some persons that really took their time to plan their outfit. Again, visionaries. A round of applause for yourselves, please. Let me say that you're exactly where you're supposed to be today. You could be anywhere else. It's a Friday. It's Last Giddy. Every other person is trying to pop out tonight, but you've made out time to be here. And why I said that you're exactly where you want to be, where you are supposed to be today, is because for over 55 years, Leadway, who has made this gathering possible, has supported Nigerians in every way. I'm talking from health insurance to health pension to investment and even to wealth creation rather. But today, as you can see all around, you're seeing Hersurred by Leadway. That is what we're spotlighting today. And in case you don't know, Hersurred by Leadway is a platform that was curated to amplify women who have stood their grounds, who are shaping the industries as we know it in Nigeria, who are constantly driving economy and redefining leadership in every single sector. And that's what all of you here are doing today. And I'm so honored to be part of this. Please, another round of applause for yourself, please. And today's theme, as we know, is Show Her Off. And indeed, we are showing her off because it's about damn time. It's about damn time. Patriarchy has let us know that women should be calm. They should not be so loud. Why are you so ambitious? You're going to end up in a man's house. If I knock somebody's teeth. Sorry, we're not being violent. Anyway, today we're celebrating you because you have impacted your community one way or another. You have stepped into your spotlight. You have owned your achievement, and you are shaping not just your future, but the future of every other girl child around you. So again, a round of applause for yourself. Today we have so much exciting lineup ahead. We have a fire chat session. It's a fire chat session because it is actually a fireside chat rather, because it's actually going to be inspiring and for lack of better word, fire. Also, we have a panel session. We have an amazing guest who will be serenading us with her gorgeous piece, her spoken word pieces. And we have a game to play with you guys much later. And of course, interactive session all along. So whether you're here to look at the gorgeous women around you, or you're here to learn, hopefully also to connect, or to take notes for your next big move. Remember I said earlier, you are meant to be here. You are literally right where you were meant to be. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's officially kickstart Hersurred 2026 by Leadway. Another round of applause for yourselves. Thank you so much. Please join me as I welcome Motulani Babalola. Please, a round of applause as she comes around. She is Corporate Communications and CSR Manager for Leadway, and she's here to talk about Hersurred. Please, a round of applause for her.
All right, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. We're so happy to have everyone here. We're powerful women of impact across our various fields, irrespective of what we do or the contributions that we make, whether at home or in the office space. Whatever we do, we're powerful women. Hersurred by Leadway was created about 3 years ago. This year we'll make it 3 years. And for us at Leadway, we know that true societal and economic progress cannot happen without the active participation of empowered women. And that is the reason we have Hersurred by Leadway, a community for every woman, irrespective of age, class, societal cadre, where you feel empowered, you have a safe space to grow, to be empowered. When you talk about meaningful mentorship, you're talking about capacity development and skill empowerment, right? Hersurred by Leadway is that space. We're walking the talk, not just internally in the Leadway ecosystem, or even externally. And that is why today is a gathering of both our Leadway women and also our distinguished guests. And we're so happy to have you here. So today, let's have an open mind. Like the theme for Hersurred by Leadway this year is show off. And essentially, we're saying that women, we do amazing stuff, awesome stuff, regardless of what it is, right? And it should be celebrated. This is a time to network. This is a time to ask questions. This is a time to actually pay attention, where we learn and unlearn things, right? We're not just talking. We want to walk the talk. We want to move outside this room and, put things into practice so that when we come back, even with other initiatives. And yes, I should also talk about some of the things that we've done at Hersurred by Leadway, beyond, just gathering women. Last year, we are big on collaborating with bodies, with organizations that are focused on whether empowering youth or women, right? We collaborated with She Leads Africa to help emerging talents from the university to gain footing in the career world, right? They are not clueless. They have a guide and mentorship as to how to progress. And even when it comes to health, because that's also a critical part of our lives that we sometimes forget, right? We do all the work and we sometimes forget to take care of ourselves, right? So we collaborated with Mental Karma. Breast cancer, as we know, is something that is ravaging our society. Early detection saves lives. So these are things that we do with health-focused organizations from time to time to keep women in check so that they stay empowered, right? Also, there are some fields that we think that are male-dominated. There's no such thing. There is no such field that we should feel that women cannot break into. An example of such field is the tech industry, right? And I'm glad that when we talk about tech bros, we also talk about Texas, right? So yes, in collaboration with Youth and Tech, we've been able to empower a few young and bright minds to break into the tech space and feel capable and skilled enough to, successfully venture in that path. So yes, we're so glad to have you. Today is going to be interactive, from the fireside chat to the panel discussion. Like I said, let's have an open mind. Let's learn from each other. Let's ask questions I'll be looking at faces. Let's ask questions, right? Yes, so thank you very much for honoring our invitation, and we hope to do even more, greater stuff anytime soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Motolani. Again, it's such an honor to be in the midst of great women. Next up, we have another great artist. Please put your hands together as we welcome Adeoye Oyeyemi. She is going to serenade us with her spoken word. She's a spoken word artist who consistently uses poetry to express herself, explore identity, please a round of applause as she walks in, to explore purpose and to share her human experiences through storytelling that's not just connect, but inspires us. So really look forward to this. No pressure though.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hi everyone, good morning. Are we cold? Kind of, right? Okay. So my name is Oyeyemi Adeoye. I like to regard myself as a storyteller, and I tell stories with poetry. So today I'll be sharing one of my stories. But before we go into it, let's have a little exercise. I love happy women. and I want to be sure I have the privilege of having some of them here today. So join me, please. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. We'll be here. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Come on, thank you. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Indulge me, please. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. Let's go again. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. Thank you. All right. Again, indulge me. I'm sorry. I'm a troublemaker. I'm sorry. So while I'm speaking, there are going to be some moments I want you to raise your hand. And it's not just, raise your hand. If those things resonate with you, please raise your hand. It's a way for us to celebrate ourselves. Today we say we are showing off. And some of the things I'll be talking about, I'm sure women in this room have done them, experienced them. And let's just use that as an opportunity to celebrate ourselves. Agreed? Fantastic. All right, I'll go. Music, please. Show of hands, if growing up you wanted to be any of the DLEs. Doctor, lawyer, engineer. Okay, couple of us. Dreaming of scrub suits or blueprints in hospitals, courtrooms, or tall buildings, aching to be called doctor, the law, my engineer. I wanted to be a doctor when I was a little girl, and I was indulged. My dolls were swapped for a detachable 3D human skeleton toy, which I named Louise, and of course the colorful plastic doctor set, which had all the things that would prepare me to cure any and every disease. My hopes were jammed when I jammed my finger in the boot of my mother's car and passed out at the sight of my own blood. Said hopes were later shattered at the end of a biology practical when I had to dissect a frog. So the options left are a PhD or doctor by association through marriage or offspring. When I think offspring, a daughter springs to mind. I hope this is not recorded in case I have a son. If she comes and wants to be a doctor, I'll tell her of women who were doctors without white coats. They were handed ambitions on life support. These women saw it, sat with it, monitored its vitals and knew its worth. They refused the death certificate, instead chose a life that would be significant, willing to be the second opinion on a weak prognosis. They did not wait for a cure on people's minds on what a woman can be, what a woman can do. They just showed it. So, show of hands if you've ever resurrected old dreams and made them a reality. Showed up when things did not make sense. Assured that there would be some turn in events. Congratulations. I'll tell my daughter you are a doctor. If she comes and wants to be a lawyer, I'll tell her of the women who raised the bar, who understood that silence is also a verdict, so they refused it. They broke the complicated down until there was nowhere to hide. Argued cases in boardrooms, at dining tables, and in midnight emails. Fought for women who had the right but no voice. So, show of hands, if you ever had to set standards, lend your voice to any woman who needed extra, refused to sign until the terms were fair. Congratulations. I'll tell my daughter you're a lawyer. If she comes and wants to be an engineer, I'll tell her what the women before her built with what they had, which was rarely enough and never the point. They rolled up their sleeves and got into it, saw a gap and breached it. So, raise your hands if you ever did the groundwork, rebuilt from scratch, or made something out of whatever everybody called nothing. Congratulations. I will tell my daughter you're an engineer. If she comes, she will not arrive empty-handed. She will come loaded with every case you argued, with every table you built, every vital you refused to let go flat. She will think it is confidence, but it is inheritance. She will not have to fight for a seat at the table because the women have come and set the table and reserved her seat for her. They will see that she followed, then she will see the pattern that she met and make room for the next. Learn to carry a table wherever she goes, should they not have room for her and her vision. She will see that she need not fear challenges that spice up her life, but stick out her tongue to taste it. And when it gets too hot, ask for water from the fountain of support. Holding their And at every obstacle, turn her back to see the ones before her, holding their findings on their thorough research on a study called life. She will see that she can be mother and wife, but also an artist, a leader, a beacon of light, a scientist, a writer, a giver of light, an entrepreneur, a scholar who will, not might, make a difference where it counts. I hope for her sake she'll be sorry when she wrongs, but never sorry for her songs, the ones the women before her taught her, to sing when she's scared, when she's alone without a friend, to sing when she seeks strength and is not so perfect, to sing when she starts to quiet down like someone has stolen her crown, to sing so, though it sounds like noise, because she knows what matters is her voice. I hope when the baton reaches her, it weighs less. Not because the race got easier, but because the women before her ran the hard part. I want to tease her about her privilege, calling out the names of the women who led the fight so she can have a right. They've shown her that a strong woman stands up for herself, but a stronger woman stands for everyone else. In my mother's days, it would all have been wishful thinking. And equally the same for me, I'm sure you would agree, but for the contributions and sacrifices many women have made in varying degrees. The one who took the meeting when she was the only one like her in it, the one who opened the door and stood there long enough to hold it, the one who negotiated her worth and reset what worth looked like for every woman behind her, the one who mentored without announcements, just, here is it, here is what I know, take it. The young woman still figuring it out, who shows up anyway, stays in the room anyway, and dares to want it anyway. My daughter may not know your name, but she will live in what you built. Walk into rooms you forced open, speak in meetings you made safe, dream at a size you made possible. So, if she comes, and she becomes a doctor, lawyer, engineer, or something we do not have a name for yet, on her behalf and mine, I thank the women who started the line, planting the trees that will never shade them, building houses they may not live in. I know the labor will not be in vain. Because of you, she will find so much already in her favor. For your lives, I've assured her. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for indulging me.
That was so beautiful. Ooh, I'm gonna tell my mom I'm not just an OAP, I'm a lawyer and I'm a doctor and everything else. A round of applause for her, please, and for yourselves. We'll be calling on next for our fireside chat. Now, this is low-key what I'm most excited about. Ooh, and the game too. The game's gonna be fun. But this fireside chat is what I'm mostly excited about. And why is because of the topic. The topic we're discussing today on the fireside chat is the audacious move that makes you visible and invisible. Before our speaker and guest speaker comes in, I just want us to remember one time. Remember that time when you decided to make that bold step or to speak up in that meeting when you know that the ideas that were being shared were great, but you felt like you had a better idea. Do we have one of those moments? Do we have one of those moments? We don't have one of those moments. Have you ever felt like, you know, that time when you had that business idea and you were like, oh, is this something that I really want to push? And eventually you just did. Do we have one of those moments? Do we have one of those moments where we're in that executive meeting, we're taking notes for our bosses, we're taking the time of the meeting, and they say something that makes sense, but you know that you have a better way to fix this problem. We've all been there one way or the other, right? Now, I feel like low-key, that's the parts that make you visible. That's when visibility is never comfortable. It's never what you just do just because, oh, I'm bored. It is you pushing yourself to the limit. And please join me with a round of applause as I make welcome our moderator, Kike Fisher, the Executive Director, Retail and Partnership at Leadway. Also joining Kike on stage is Jumoke Olaniyan. Please, a round of applause. And they will be talking about the audacious move that makes you visible and invisible. A round of applause, please.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm seeing all shiny, bright faces, but the people on this side are not smiling. What's going on? Okay, so good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's conversation. I think this is a topic that we don't talk about enough. We seem to talk about it more when there are rooms filled with women, but I think it's something we particularly need to address. The audacity to be visible. I'm sure a lot of people in the room would say at some point in their career, their managers would have said to them, be visible. But what does visibility really mean? And I think that's what we're going to deep dive into. What is it to be visible? Is it just to be seen? Is it to be remembered? Is it not to be forgotten? Is it for you to stand out when you're in a room? So today with me, I have lovely Miss Jumoke Olanio, who surprisingly, we have worked together before in the past. And it's glad to see that we're both now at this stage in our career. So I'd like to introduce Jumoke to the room. Jumoke is the Group Chief Strategy Officer at Nigerian Stock Exchange. Formerly worked at FMDQ, where she spent 12 years. This morning, I was asking her, so what does it feel like to start something new? And she said, you know what? I don't know. We're just going through the motions. So let's listen to Jumoke this morning. Tell us what it means to be audacious, because she has lived through it. So we're not going to be talking on theoretical terms. We're going to be talking about our real life experiences and what that means to us. So I would start at the root cause and ask the question, what gave you that conviction to take that audacious step? And what does that mean for you?
Hi, Kiket. Nice to meet you again. Good morning, everyone. Most delighted to be with you all this morning. It's a family meeting, right? So yeah. Let's talk some hard truths. When you say you want to be visible, because I know the theme is around being visible, is around being audacious and the likes, be careful what you ask for, because you have to make sure that you're ready to give what it takes to get there, to be, visible and audacious. So let me go back to the question around what gave me the conviction. And my story is not typical. And I say this because I've been in rooms like this, always looking for inspiration, looking to listen to how women have done it, before us. And, we always seem to think, or what I hear from most people's stories have always been, there's a defining moment. There's a defining action, My story was not one of a defining moment or a defining action. I've just come to realize that my story was one of a consistent story through my 20 years career. And what do I mean? When I started out my career and in where I worked, I was thrown into a role where you made decisions split second. I traded foreign currency in a bank, one of the foremost banks in Nigeria. And a week after I assumed duty, I was put on the screen and said, deal. When I say deal, I was dealing dollar naira. That is, you're buying and selling dollars for the bank. And that meant you needed to make decisions on behalf of the bank. And I was 1 week into the role. So it put me in a high-stake environment from day one where I needed to make what? Quick, smart decisions. And where I needed to get over myself where the decision didn't pan out correct. Because there were days where I bought money and made huge losses. And then days where I bought and made, good money. And what I have realized over the years is starting out in that kind of environment helped me to build an attitude to life where I had to make decisions without having all the information all the time, but being confident in whatever decision I take, correct. Well, I'm not even going to use the word correct or wrong, because you cannot know if it's correct or wrong in the moment. Good or bad, whatever the outcome, it's a decision I took and I owned it. And I realized that training, which is, how they say, go to gym, train your muscle. The more you do it, the more you build it. I realized that thereafter in my career, that was a huge foundation of how I was able to continue to grow in conviction in every role, in every job opportunity that came my way. In the sense that that helped me to always overcome fear. That helped me to always overcome doubt. Did the doubt come? Yes. Did the fear come? Absolutely yes. But having to always make decisions in that kind of environment helped me to always be able to clear the cobwebs and go forward. So it took me from obviously one who would always be held back by, having these issues and fears and then eventually saying, no, I'm not going to do it, to one that knew that you've done it before and you didn't die. You've done it before, nobody killed you, right? So you've got to make that decision. So for me, as I said, conviction for me was a consistent journey of practicing the same principles that I started out having to build by being able to look at what is the information around me, what am I seeing in front of me, and what is the best decision based on the information that I have around me. So what am I trying to say? Conviction may not always be a defining moment. And I BSA, if I ask many people, yes, we agonize about decisions and convictions sometimes. It may not necessarily be absolutely clear. Sometimes it just has to be you relying on what you know and what you've done consistently and seeing the outcome and trust that, again, the next step you're going to take is also going to have a positive outcome.
Good, thank you. So your story is clearly one of a very high-pressured environment, which led you to make decisions very quickly. One key question I would ask is, when you were afraid, what thoughts came to your mind? Because you're dealing in currency. And I know how quickly you have to make a decision within a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So when you were afraid, what went through your mind? I know there was no defining moment to say, okay, I'm sure you had that little voice in your head, say, okay, you have to think right now. But how did you deal with fear? Because I'm sure a lot of people will want to know how you did that and how you navigated that.
Let me ask you guys a question. When you're afraid, who remembers? Can you remember what you were thinking? No. Let me tell you a quick story. Again, I start with my early career, and I start with Eric Keller because it defined me quite a little bit. One day I was put in front of the sister and they said trade. And I was like, but I don't know this so much, but they said trade. So I started trading. And I think about an hour and a half into the day, I had lost about 300 million naira. And I'm talking of 20 years ago. 300 million naira 20 years ago. I'm not sure my ancestors have seen that kind of money in their history. And I was just looking at myself. I was looking at the screen, looking at myself. Okay. And then I lifted my head. And I saw my supervisor. I had a direct desk supervisor. And the chief dealer of the room. And they were both looking at me. And they had a huge smirk and smile on their faces. And I was like, in fact, I was looking for the door. Because I needed to go to the bathroom. Maybe I was going to go and throw up or run away. I don't know what I was going to do that day. But I saw them looking at me. And they called me and said, what is going on? And I said, we're done for. I've lost the whole money we made the whole month. 300 million. About 300 million. I will never forget that figure. And the chief dealer was a lady. She said, okay, come with me. So she took me to the screen. She sat down beside me. You know, I was the one with the paper and said, take the records. And she started dealing. In another 2 hours, she cleaned out 300 million naira loss and made a profit that day. And when she finished, she said, what did you learn today? Excuse me, I had nothing to say. I had absolutely nothing to say. And she said, what I wanted you to see today is it does not matter what way it goes. It's not the end of the world. It's not over until it's over, and it's never over. Right? And she said, I want you to understand today that your decisions, no matter what it is, however, you take those decisions, there's a next step to take. There's a next step to take. Always, there's a next step to take. So I hope this experience today has broken that fear in you and made you know that I'm not saying you get it right every time, but you cannot then just shut down because you made a mistake or it didn't go your way. That is what I have used to counter fear. If you ask anybody about me, resilience is one word I have. I do not give up. Once there's a plan or there's something in front of you, what you thought was the way it was going to go is not going. Very quickly, you need to start asking yourself, what's step 2? And step 2 does not always mean die there and say, I must do it. Step 2 can be, you know what? It's not doable. Let's move on. Let's go look for what is doable. But staying there, mulling there, being sunk into, it didn't work, it failed, will never, it's hard to see, you should not stay there. You need to give yourself a minute to acknowledge it, give yourself a minute to extract what is it that happened, but you need to move. You need to move. Time is, of essence to those kinds of things. And so for me, fear, once fear comes, my next step is, where is plan 1? Where is plan 2? Where is plan 3?
Let's move on.
Let's start going through the plans. Because once the plans are there, that's fine. Once the plans are there, I know that it doesn't matter what the outcome is. Next step, I'm going to move to it. I'm going to move to it. Preparation will always help you overcome fear all the time.
Very good. Thank you, Jumoke. Okay, so let's move on to visibility. The theme is show off. What's the theme? Show her off. So let's move on to visibility. I'm going to ask a twofold question. What does visibility mean to you? And at what point, clearly you started off in a role that made you visible. So I don't think there was any struggle of, how do I make myself visible? Obviously, you make a loss, you're done for. You make a profit, you're celebrated. And it's probably just 1 second of celebration, and you move on. It's very instant. So what does visibility really mean for you? And the second half of that question is, there's being visible, and there's being visible and influential at the same time. At what point did you realize that you needed to marry the two? Because that's probably what has carried you through your career. So can you just walk us through that, giving experiences of what that means for you?
Who can give me the dictionary definition of visibility? Please, can we have 1 or 2 people? And we can open ChatGPT, it's fine. It's not an exam. By the way, don't sleep on it too. ChatGPT Cloud, don't let anybody deceive you. You better know how to use those things well. Just use it cautiously. I want someone to give me the definition of visibility. Yes. Fantastic. How easily something can be what? Seen. Yes. Noticed. Yes.
And recognized.
Can I ask you a question? Those 3 words, are they things that you are pushing or someone is perceiving? Take it again. Someone is what? Fantastic. The reason I wanted you to define that is when we use the word visibility, a lot of people think is, oh, what am I pushing? Right? But visibility is in the eye of the beholder. Is in the eye of the perception of how the person is receiving, from you. And what that therefore means is not always do you have to be the one what? Pushing. For there to be a what? Perception. Right? So if you know that and you understand that statement, my philosophy is influence is the ultimate visibility. And influence is the very silent or invincible visibility. And it is so powerful that it doesn't matter whether you push or you don't push. Once you build influence, you are visible. There's nothing you want to do. You don't have a choice. So the question is, how do you build influence? Consistency, credibility, integrity. Those are, for me, key words, key principles that helps you build the influence. Pick a space and be known for it unapologetically. By God's grace, I know we don't do this as women. We think it's a problem. I do believe that if anyone Googles financial markets in Nigeria and says female, my name will be number 1 on that list. And I didn't build it in one day. You have to build it by consistently delivering value. by consistently showing that you know what you're talking about. And that is influence, credibility, integrity, consistency that gives you a visibility. Many people will say, how? I do not like being on the stage. I do not like coming out. 2 years ago, they forced me to open Instagram and LinkedIn and be posting on the pages. But it wasn't something that came natural to me, I promise. 2-3 days ago, I said I'm going private. They refused to allow me to go private on my Instagram account. So that's the visibility I am trying to push out. But before that, you have to have built a solid foundation on which to build this other side of what? Visibility. So, again, to summarize what I'm trying to say, be known for something, build that something credibly, authentically to who you are, not necessarily what the society says it should be, what you know it to be and how you know it to be, what your experiences have been. And that level of credibility and authenticity comes with its own version of visibility. It's a foundation you must build on. Because visibility without credibility or substance behind it is very dangerous. It's a fad that would go out of fashion so fast that your head will spin. So for me, visibility actually is the influence in the first instance. And when you have that, you can then use that foundation to then project other things that you want to project. You can then use it to build on other areas of passion that you have, mentoring women, supporting women, building women up, and the likes.
Thank you. So that brings us naturally to my next question. So we've talked about perception, what people see.
Yeah.
We've talked about what you're pushing, which is what you put out there. And we're saying there has to be substance behind it. I think the natural next question, which you started talking about, is building the foundation on top of it, which is, for the women in this room who are probably in different stages in their career, we've talked about influence, we've talked about credibility. The next question, or natural question most people would say is, what sort of networking should I be doing? I've done all the hard work, I've built the substance. You and I hate being on stage, although a lot of people in my office will say I like talking, but that's not true. I hate Instagram, I hate LinkedIn, I hate pushing stuff out there. I just want to sit quietly in my own space. But we know, and I'm sure both of us and many people in this room would say that at some point, you need to step out and shine. I had a boss who would always say, you need to toot your own horn. And if you don't, no one else is going to do it for you. And so the network you build is actually what then builds upon what you have, the hard work you've already done. So what sort of networking, clubs, societies, industries do you think could support women who are also trying to grow their careers, given that they've done the hard work?
Let me say something to just a small point you said. I don't see it as tooting my horn. I see it as putting the record out there. Let the record be on display.
Let it be known. It's a fact.
This is a fact. This is not for debate. I don't see it as tooting my own, because I think we women, we have a lot of anxiety around, oh, it's not culturally right for you to talk too much about yourself. No, we're putting the record out there, that's all.
I'm putting it straight.
That's all. We're putting the record out there. Let's start to change our brain chemistry around those things. We're just putting the record out there. Networking. Okay. It's not a very favorite subject either. It's interesting how people feel, there are a lot of things that when you've gone to the top, it's very easy to do. Like talking, right? We talk too much, but we have to talk because we have to talk. We don't have a choice about it. Okay, let's come back to networking. I think the first question is, what are you networking for? Are you networking just because they say you have to network? If that is the case, then you failed already and you're going to be frustrated from day one, on the outset, really, really. So the networking, first of all, must have an objective, must have a definition, must have a reason why you need to network. Because networking is not one size fits all. And for each field you find yourself in, the kind of network you do can be as diverse. What do I mean? Let me take myself as an example. I probably have 3 to 5 networking cycles. There's the network for work. There's the network because there are people of serious levels I need to meet, like Kike, I need to make sure I have a personal number, not the one on the card. So I'll collect the number before the end of the day. There's the network you need to do for work, because you know these are people you need to know, you know what they do, your business will get you guys together, you know, and things like that. There's network I call level 2. I cannot get to Dangote, but I know who knows Dangote. So I need to network that person so that the day I need to get to Dangote, I will go through the persons to get to Dangote. And then there's your personal network, right? Your friends, you know. Now, inside your personal network, there's Jaye Friends Network, and there's friends that need to build you up. I'll say it again. There's friends that we Jaye with, and there's friends that, I'm sorry, I used the word Jaye, friends for fun, in case everybody doesn't know the word
Vibes.
Jaye. Vibes, okay, sorry, that's what they call it now, okay. But there's friends that it is career, business, what is the next big thing. That is the network of friends. The friends that when you guys meet, that's what we're talking about. What's the next business? What's the next investment? What are we doing? What's the next course we are going for? Because sometimes, if you have a friend that has both, lucky you, fantastic. But sometimes it's not always the case, right? And you need all such friends, you know. And so that's my question. When I say that, you can now, if you see these few buckets I've put, think about you trying to network in one single place for all of that. It's not going to happen, is it? It's just not going to happen. Because you're not going to find these types of people in the same place. You're going to find them in very different environments. And so once you understand what the network you want to do, or the type of network you want to build, is, that directs you to where you need to go to try and find those kinds of network. Obviously, at the very highest levels, there are clubs that have been designed to help those, right? To help you with networking. Curated, specific set of people come to those kinds of environment. If that's the kind of club you want to participate in, then fantastic, you know, join them. Some of them have the merit, be careful, I'm sorry I will say, not every of them gives you the value they claim to give. But, you know, explore. I always say try something once at least to be sure the value that it delivers. But don't be stupid to stay there when it's not delivering value. Move on to the next. But I also say that while you say you want to build a network, while you say you want to network, why don't you build a network? And what do I mean? 2-3 people coming together. I had an invitation from a set of people recently to come talk to them. And they said, oh, we are a set of students. We've just graduated from universities across Nigeria, and we realized that, yeah, every time we go to some of those big things, there are questions we want to ask, hardcore questions, but you know it's a curated event, so we don't get the opportunity to ask as much questions. So what we've decided to do is, within ourselves, we just came together. We started as 10. I think they said they are now about 30. That we'll just have WhatsApp, Zoom sessions. If we're not calling ourselves a network, we're not calling ourselves a group, we're not calling ourselves anything. We just keep time on Zoom one Saturday weekend, and depending on the topic we say we want to build and work on within that month, we're going to look for who can talk to us about it. And it's just Zoom, no pretense, no nothing. We're not curating anything. I loved it because I thought it was fantastic that they're pushing away the fluff and going right to the meat of it. And so, you know, they invited me to speak to them. So what have they chosen to do? They've chosen not to wait for someone to build it for them. They've chosen to build it for themselves. I can imagine how that community of people, and they're across the world, they're not sitting in one room, is a network of people that they would, you know, connect to each other any day, anytime, anywhere. If one of them travels to the other country, you readily have someone you can call there for soft landing, you know, for soft, you know, support. So what am I saying? If you continue to do the same, it's not going to take you far. If you've been doing it and it's not working, it's time to try something different. A potluck in your house is a network. Do we know what potluck is? Do we know what potluck is? Yeah, and potluck doesn't have to be so expensive. It can be ice cream. It can be ice cream and granite in front of a movie. It can be suya, you know, and 5,000 naira wine. We all just come to watch a movie. Build network you want. There are people you know you want to emulate. There are people who you feel have the value to give you. Build it. While you you look for the opportunities to obviously get from the external networks, conferences, sessions like this as well, communities like, Hersurred as well, look within your immediate cycle. You know somebody knows somebody, and the next person knows somebody. That is how a network is built. And you can build a network that has core value to you, that will sustain, time and, challenges and give you that value and build from it. So again, look to orthodox things to move yourself forward. Look to things that defy the odds to move yourself forward. And that's what I'll say about networking.
Thank you. I think this has been a very insightful session. Do we agree? Yes. So I'll summarize everything Jumoke has said. Jumoke said one thing that I think we should take away. There was no defining moment for her because of the way she started. High-pressured environment. She had to make decisions very quickly. And I think making decisions very quickly is something that stands out as a leadership skill that we all need to take through our career. We talked about visibility. We talked about it as being perception. We talked about what you need to push out, what is important in terms of networking, what value do you get. So it's not everywhere you go, you try and network. You have to define for yourself what value is. She mentioned one thing that was very key, which was resilience. The ability to start, stop, move on. It's okay to fail. And I think there are key takeaways we can take away from that. Because of time, we will not be able to ask questions. But before we leave this, I think I would ask Jumoke one closing question for us to take away. Beyond being resilient, beyond credibility and integrity, what advice would you give the women in this room for them to be able to take bold, audacious steps?
I will say, what is your core value? I didn't use the word values. I use value, singular. There has to be just one thing that is the core thread across your life and every single facet of your life. Because being audacious is not just about career or business. It has to be in every single part of your life, to be audacious. And to do that, you must have a core value that you stand for. You must have a core value that motivates you and builds you and pushes you. And if you have that at the back of your mind every single time, that helps you to take the steps that you always will find will land in being audacious. I have a value. I said, I always want to be of value, not just successful. There's a difference. I can do something for someone that is valuable. It's not going to make me successful. Nobody's even going to know about it. But to that one person, he cannot or she cannot forget me. Because I've done what? Been of value to that person. And that is one thread I carried in my life and in my career and everything that I've done that has built me goodwill, has put my names in rooms that I had no clue about, that has created that road way before me, before I came, because to this one person, to that one person, to this one person, I had been of value. Now, note for me the word was value. What did that mean? It was a listening ear today. It was financial support to that person. It was doing my job excellently in the cases I needed to be, jobs excellently. It was being hard and tough on people. Yes, I've had some few people who then sent me messages later. So I thought you were very wicked, but now I know. Thank you for that, It was, that word value, obviously, like I said, depending on the situation I found myself or who it is I was speaking to or who I was engaging with, varied and differed. So for me, that helps me in every way of what I'm doing, that I'm audacious because of that. So have a core value that drives your business, that drives who you want to be known for, that drives how you engage with anyone you meet any day, anytime. That will help you always to make sure that you're making the right decisions or you're taking the right steps that will always make you audacious.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And that was very, very insightful. Sorry, do you mind just waiting on the stage? Can I, please, a round of applause for them again. Can Mrs. Shola Sheweje join them on stage? CEO, Leadway, trustees. Please, a round of applause as she makes her way to this stage. Also, can we get Yetunde Fadikbe on stage too? A round of applause, please. Group head tax Leadway group. A round of applause, please. Also, can we have Lily Izebige on stage, please? General Manager, Leadway Hotels. A round of applause, please. Thank you so much. I hope we've all been inspired one way or another today. Remember, just as we've heard from our very amazing guest speaker, Mrs. Jumoke, failure is not the end of it. You can fail, which is very humane, but it's definitely not the end of it. A round of applause for yourselves. A round of applause for our speakers. Are we being inspired today? Are we going to go back home showing off everything we've learned? I hope you do, because these are very interesting topics that we don't get to speak on often. But now that we have the ability to see the people that have done it, the people that have been ambitious enough, that have been brilliant enough to take that bold step to be visible and influential, come to show us how it's been done. I hope that you have been inspired to do it in your own sector. Please, a round of applause for yourselves. I know I've been saying this, but you clap for yourself. You have tried. Whilst we do that, can we please make way for, we have a panel session coming up right about now. And okay, before we move to that, remember the theme for Hersurred 2026? Do you remember? What's the theme? What's the theme? We sound like we are very cold. What's happening? I've not paid salary. The month has not ended now. Relax, calm down. It will come. It will come. The theme for Hersurred 2026 is what? And we are definitely going to be showing off all the amazing women in this room today. So my mic is going to be passed around. When my mic gets to you, I'd love you to introduce yourself and practically show off, okay? All right, so our mics are going to be tossed around. Whoever gets it first, we get the whole concept of this, right? Okay, Sisieko, you look gorgeous.
Thank you. My name is Gold Ewata. My name is Gold Ewata. I'm a content strategist at Leadway.
Where is the show off? Where is the show off? Where is the show off?
Can we see who is speaking to, or who is speaking to us rather? Yes.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gold.
Hi, Gold.
I'm a content strategist at Leadway.
Yay.
I'm a Hersurred woman.
Period. I would love us some Hersurred women.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Adeyinka Akinyede Ashaolu. I'm the Executive Director for Wise Network Foundation. I am lead consultant for Kala Consults. I'm a certified financial literacy coach, investment consultant. I am Chief Execution Officer for Fruitful Fields Limited and Agribusiness. Okay, so this is how to show off. The reason why I did that is because women hesitate a lot. not because I have the liver, but now I've pulled it out from wherever it's hiding. So that whoever is, once this mic gets to you and you can't do this, walk out of this room. Thank you very much.
We love that energy. I have a question for you, though.
So we're starting from the front row over again. Thank you
But before
very
you
much.
pass the mic, I have a quick question for you, though.
Myself.
Yes, yourself.
You see?
My
You
question to
see it? You see it?
My question to you is, what do you think makes you extremely special?
My belief in myself.
Period. And that's a what? That's a period. All right.
Who am I passing it to? Back to you?
No.
Okay.
Anybody.
Okay, I really want to hear from the ladies in the front, even our
Okay.
Leadway people. Thank you very much. I'd like to hear your voice. Thank you.
So we need you to show off.
My name is Lily Zevige. I am the, like I always say, the #1 errand girl for Leadway Hotels. Okay, that's it about it.
What do you love about your job, ma'am?
Oh, well, I'm the general manager of Leadway Hotels, the hotel bit of Leadway.
What do you love about the job?
We take care of people. It gives us joy to take care of people. Yeah.
Okay. #1 hospitality manager over here. Thank you so much. Why do you look like they're about to set you up?
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Jumoke Olanyo, popularly known as J-Lo. Don't ask me why. You have to buy me wine to know why I'm called J-Lo. So guess what? You're never going to forget that name, right?
Yeah.
Good. I work in the Nigerian capital markets for about 20 years now. And I've been in rooms where the structure that you know have been designed and decided and designed. I love what I do because what I do, I see impacts the everyday man, the everyday woman, the everyday person on the streets of Nigeria. And because of that impact, I'm fulfilled. That is how to show off.
I have a question for you. I have a question for everybody that takes my mic. Thank you in advance. Why this particular career path?
Why this particular career path? Okay. I think the path chose me. I think the path chose me. I started out, I could have been no pun to anybody, a relationship manager in a bank. But I knew very clearly in my mind that BAU or the same thing every day was not going to work for me. My brain works too actively on a daily basis to just do the same thing over and over again. So I needed a role or an environment that would allow me to have a structure, but be able to put my own creativity and out-of-the-box thinking every day. Mm-hmm. So project management, product development, which is a little bit of what I do, and obviously strategy that I do now, was the perfect fit for me. So the role chose me.
Would you agree when I say that it's best the role choose you than you chase
Sister, you have
after
to pay for the next thing. Question. No, mind me. Take the question again.
Oh, the question is, would you agree when I say that it's best if the road chooses you than you chase after it?
Cliche. That's a cliche, I'm sorry. And I like to speak for the reality of Nigeria. I like to speak to young people. I have a young daughter too, so what I tell my daughter, I will tell anybody. It is very easy to stand there and say, is it best for the role to choose you? That is 0.1% of the population that have that opportunity for the role to be the one to choose you. And if you live in today's Nigeria, once you get that certificate, you need to earn a living. So check your ego at the door. And check, what's that word? Check the castles in the air at the door very quickly. What you see in front of you, do it diligently. You need to work. You need to earn a pay. First. And when you're diligent at what you've done, for all you know, what you thought is the role that should choose you might just not be what you like to do. So when you have gone in there and you've explored and you've gotten to know yourself a little bit better, Because I think that's one check door. The day we leave the university and the day you enter corporate or work in Nigeria, you find a totally new person that you did not know existed inside you. So when you have explored and you get to know a little bit more about yourself, then maybe you can actually know what is this role that you're looking for, and then start to plan to get yourself there. But to say, is it best for the role to choose you? Sister, you will sit waiting for this role. And hunger is nobody's friend. So I'm very pragmatic in life, and I speak to young people every day, every time. It's not the ideal job, it's not the best role, it's not what you dreamed of. But you need to earn a living. You want to be independent, you want to be confident, you know, and all that. Get a job. Do the job. What you find your hands doing, do it well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Blessed. I am a programs coordinator at the Women's Technology Empowerment Center. And for me, my role as a programs coordinator, I manage the women arm of WTech. So we impact women entrepreneurs through our Chicago University program. And from joining WTech, I was able to move that program for just impacting 500 persons, 500 women, to 5,000 women entrepreneurs across Nigeria, across different countries in Africa. And I was able to move from just a customer service person at a bank to landing a job at WTech. Moving from just doing the core work, because like she said, I'm a very passionate and I like activity, you know, and from the monotonous job at the bank, I moved to the job I love, something I'm really passionate about doing, and that's women empowerment. Thank you very much.
I was just about to ask you to share with us your most recent win so we can celebrate you, but I'm glad you did that already. A round of applause, please. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Kabirat Odunton. Just like her, I work for the Women's Technology Empowerment Center, but I wouldn't be showing myself off today. I'll be showing off the Women's Technology Empowerment Center. This year, we clocked 18 years, impacting 60,000 women across Africa, which is the most insane thing I could ever think of being a part of. I would consider myself being at the embryo of my career. 5 years in a professional setting, it just wasn't hit. Then going into an impact setting, it's been the most rewarding and the most fulfilling thing I could ever think of being a part of. Our focus has been on basically bridging the tech gap from women and girls and seeing the next generation become builders, become, you know, the best thing the world is yet to see. That is what Nigeria women are. Thank you very much.
Oh my God, this is so beautiful. All right, my mic is passed to you.
Where do I start from?
Wherever.
I'm a media consultant, a broadcast journalist. I've managed several stations in Nigeria, and I've worked with Cool FM as a presenter. I've also done a couple of waka pass in Nigeria movies, starting with Jinsel. I'm an actor. I'm a documentary producer. I'm a film producer. I'm a gender advocate. I help women. You're not clapping for me. I help women to project themselves using the visual, the audio, tools, and I'm an author. I published a book 2 years ago about depression, and right now I evolved into the mental health space. I'm a mental health therapist. I studied child and adolescent mental health at UCH.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. I mean, that's one of the greatest things we are told to do. My name, Going Dolene Oshoni, but I'm mostly known as Lady Going.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good
My name is
afternoon.
Marianne Tukey, and I work with financial reporting in Leadway Assurance. So what makes me very, very unique and special is that I'm a very hardworking woman. Whatever comes my way, I face it head on. without fear, without shame.
And that is the resilience we've been talking about. Yay. It's your turn. Pick up past the mic. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hi. I'm Ore, a senior analyst, customer experience. Okay, so I entered customer experience by chance. However, it's been a roller coaster, and I love it, really, because we get to put everybody in order to ensure that everyone's practices, that's team practice, aligns with customer experience practice, because we are all here to make money. Businesses, yes, we give value. However, if you don't value your customers, you don't get their money, and then we don't get paid. Mm-hmm. So how do we keep getting customers to give you their monies? So that's what my department or my team does to ensure that it's structured and ensures that it aligns with the customer. When you give the customer value and you value them in your processes, then you get more out of your customers. And we all go with bonuses.
I have a question. My question is, how do you deal with your tough customers? Because I know there's always that one customer.
Oh, they are not just one.
A lot.
We understand them. We empathize with them. And like I said, we understand them. So we are continuously understanding how market changes, how customer demands changes, and we try and align our processes with what the customer needs.
Thank you so much. A round of applause. All right, it's your turn. Don't forget that the whole point of this gamified session is to show off. You are here at Hersurred 2026 by Leadway, and our theme for this year is Show Her Off. And whilst we've learned a thing or two today, it's time for you to showcase what makes you extra special. But I'm sorry, please sit. Before I get to you, I have something exciting to share with you all today. I know that we all have that business idea that we believe, oh, this is going to take this particular sector of the economy to a next level. If you've had any business idea lately, start of 2026, please let me see your hand up. Business idea, let me see. You don't know if your investor is here. You don't know about me, if I'm your investor. Nobody knows. But anyway, if you've had, okay, I see a few hands up. We have part of this session. We would love you to pitch your ideas, and whilst you also obviously spotlight yourself. And there will be a barcode here in a couple seconds, and you can scan this barcode to share your proposal. And I hope that your business idea is brought into fruition in Jesus' name. Okay, let's go to my mama here. Can you please show off? Show off and don't care. I thought I was going to rhyme with that. Don't mind me.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Hey, my name is Naomi.
Hi, Naomi.
Hi. Okay.
Naomi's so shy. Naomi, do you want to come front? No. She will just pass out.
Okay, my name is Naomi, and work with Avila Naturals Limited. It's a skincare brand. And we're known for natural products. Our products are natural, and I'm very delighted working with that brand.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was invited here.
That's really nice. So, Naomi, what made you decide to work with a skincare brand? Because you could be doing anything at this point, but you decided to do that. So, what was that moment that made you decide, oh, this is what I'm going to do?
Okay. So, growing up, actually, I'm not a fan of, bleaching. Like, say, changing your color, your skin type.
Shout out to that auntie at the junction.
I know that, so that was my drive. And it wasn't actually my plan, working with Avila Natural, actually, because it's a product my sisters, they use at home, and I too use it. So I came for service, and faith just brought me to the company, and that's how I'm working there.
Oh, that's great. A round of applause for Naomi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nene. All right, here you go. Don't worry, to get to you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi, good afternoon.
My name is Omobola. You can call me Omo B.
Omo Beazil in the building. A round of applause for Omo B.
Yeah. So I'm a journalist and spent decades of my life giving the people that their voices are being trampled on the voice, you know. So I wake up every day feeling good, knowing that I'm there to fight the cause of someone, and then I go to bed feeling fulfilled that yes, I've done that. Yeah. So
that is so satisfying. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Omobi. Thank you so much. Okay. Please don't forget that. Thank you so much. Please don't forget that if you have your business proposals, you could also just share with us here, okay? Don't worry, nobody's going to steal your idea. We promise you. We promise. My mic is going to you. A lot of persons weren't here when you performed. Oh, I did tell you guys, aside from being a host, I'm a doctor. You just don't know these things. You don't know it. But she's about to tell you why I'm a doctor. There's a round of applause as she introduces herself and show off.
You're indeed a doctor. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Good afternoon. My name is Oyeyemi Adeoye. I'm a storyteller. I tell stories through various medium, poetry, film, audio dramas. I ran an audio drama podcast called Bo, where I spotlighted women all over the world. I also make films. I actually made my first feature film last week.
Ooh,
it was a very beautiful experience. So yes, you can call me director.
Period.
Yeah, and I really love storytelling. I really love the opportunity to use stories to spotlight things that we would rather just ignore or are very uncomfortable conversations. And so I think it's a very, very strong space to be at. And I feel very privileged to be a storyteller. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A round of applause, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Oluwatimileyin, but you can call me Dodo Addict.
Wait, why did you say my name is Did you forget your name? Okay.
I am a brand manager at a creative agency, the baddest brand manager that you would ever come across. What do? I help spotlight brands to their audience, target audience, customers, basically in the marketing space in general. Yeah.
All right. Why did you decide to do this? Did your mommy not tell you should be a doctor or an engineer?
Well, Unilag didn't make me a doctor. So
shout out Unilag though.
So I had to move into, I think I fell in love with research insights, basically understanding why a product is in the market, and also understanding how the audience think, what they do when they want to purchase, what they basically think in general. Yeah, I was just intrigued by that.
You said you enjoy researching. What was the last thing you researched? Can you enlighten us on the last research?
So that was what I started with. I started with marketing research before moving to the advertising part of marketing. The last research I did was years ago. It was a BHT for brand health check for I think an FMCG brand. I can't remember, but yeah, that was the last time I did research.
All right, a round of applause. A round of applause for yourselves. You guys have been so amazing. I am honestly inspired being around these amazing women. Please don't forget to scan the QR code and send in your proposal. You don't know where that big investment is going to come in from. It might just come from Leadway. Who knows? Anyway, please a round of applause for yourselves. You've been patient. Also, I think there's snacky snacks around, and also they're serving drinks. They're passing drinks around. So, okay. Okay, you know what? We're going to come back to this gamified session because I low-key think I've eaten into my time for the other session that we have. So we have a panel session, right? And this panel session is not just like any other regular panel session. We'll be talking about the multidimensional woman. When you hear that, what do you think? When I hear that, I think of my mom. When you hear the multidimensional woman, like, who is the lady that comes to your head? Is it yourself? Is it your sister? Is it your sister-in-law? Your mother-in-law? Okay, that's a stretch. But anyway, I have with us, please a round of applause as I welcome our moderator for the panel session, Omolola Tunde Alade. That's the head of digital transformation at Leadway. She's a digital strategy expert with over 12 years of driving innovation and growth across several financial services. Please a round of applause for her. And we have our panelists who will be joining her on stage. We have Dr. Chinyere Almona. A round of applause for Dr. Chinyere Almona. She is Director General of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. A round of applause for Dr. Chinyere, please. Also, we have another panelist all the way from PRCAN. She is the president and founder of NECCI Consulting. I'm talking Dr. Nkechi Ali Balogun. A round of applause. Now, that consulting company is like one of the pioneers that have shaped PR in Nigeria longer than I have been alive. So please, a round of applause. A round of applause. I'm fine. Good morning, ma'am. Okay, joining them on stage is the founder of what I love to call the most creative strategist in Nigeria at the moment. Please, ladies and gentlemen, join your hands together as I welcome Adora Lumina Umbelu. She is the founder of Lumination and creator of. And if you don't know what that is, oh my God, please enjoy research like our last speaker and please research what this is. We're honored. I can't speak for all of you, but I am so honored to be in the midst of this amazing women. And remember that the topic of conversation right now is the multidimensional woman, thriving in life, thriving in leadership, and thriving in impact. A round of applause, please. Thank you so much. Okay, and finally coming on stage. Please give me a minute. Okay. Join me, welcome on stage Adeyinka Akinyede Ashalu. She is the founder of Wise Network Foundation. And Wise Network Foundation is I'm so sorry, gorgeous woman. Wise Network Foundation is a financial consultant and a wealth coach, empowering women and youth through financial literacy and business mentorship. Actually, the first person I'm connecting with today. Yay! Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, ladies. Everybody looking sharp, pretty. It's nice to see some of my colleagues outside the office. It's a downtime. So welcome again to our Hersurred, and the event is all about showing off. So to start off, our host has been gracious enough to introduce all of us, but I think she introduced all of us from our corporate and career side. And we're here to talk about being multidimensional. So we're all going to do our introduction again, and then you introduce yourself in your multidimensional way. So from work into life, into everything. So we'll take that again, and then I'll start. So again, my name is Omolola Tunde Alade. I head digital transformation in Leadway, but beyond that, I'm a very serious person. I'm as playful can be. I'm a friend, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a mom, to 2 boys. I'm borderline a general because I'm a referee, I'm the commander, I'm the soccer mom. And I think most importantly about me is I'm deeper than I look. So depending on how I connect with you, you can either get surface or you get deep. And it's nice to be with you guys today. So I'm going to start from my far right. Yes, you made all of us show off, so we're starting with you. So Adeyinka, please tell us about yourself in the multidimensional way.
Good morning, everyone. Or good morning, ladies. Okay, I'm greeting all the ladies in the room. Good morning, ladies. Good morning. Thank you very much. And the gentlemen here, our he for she's, please give them a shout out. Come on now. Thank you very much. Why did I greet the men? Because International Women's Day or gender equality is not about competition. It's about completion. It's about complementing. I'm a UNIDO-trained gender lens investment advocate, amongst many other things. And I recently just concluded a certain gender training, I think this Tuesday. 2 days marathon, about 12 hours. So now, the reason why I said that is because when you talk about it's a women event, and there is a misconception that when you talk about gender, you're talking only about women, and that women are fighting the men. That's very untrue. Men and women are different, but they were made to complement, not compete. And the earlier we understand that, that better. And have I started introduction? I just thought to mention that. Thank you very much. Would that be all my introduction? Thank you.
Thank you, Adeyinka. Okay, next to you, Doc.
Okay, so when you introduce yourself like that, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say. So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, multidimensional women. I'm Dr. Chinyere Almona. I'm presently the Director General and CEO of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the oldest chamber in West Africa, 136 years. I'm a mother to 3 grown-up children, aged 27, 25, and 23. I'm a pastor. I'm also an author. I have about 12 books. I'm a corporate governance expert, so I do training. I'm a trainer, so I train boards and executive management. I'm also into sustainability frameworks and all of those. I'll stop here for now.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Okay, over to you, Madam Ikechi.
That indeed is the multi-dimensional woman. Well, my name is Nkechi Ali Balogo. Maybe I should add a doctor or PhD, whatever. Growing up, I thought I was a tomboy. And one of my passions was trying to beat up the boys. I grew up with that, I won't call it aggression, assertiveness, into the woman I am today. I'm a public relations consultant. I like building and mending relationships. So I love people. I naturally love people. I want to see smiles in people's faces, but I'm also a no-nonsense person. I'm very strict. Sometimes that is disconnect because I love life. My husband doesn't know whether to call me a socialite or even though I want to run away from there, but really I love socials. I love food. I'm sure you can see it on me. But that's not true because sometimes it's not all about food. There are some very slim people here that eat more than I do, right? So I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm an author, I'm a counselor, and what else do I do? Well, maybe as the discussion goes on, I'll remember some of them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Over to you, Dora.
All right.
You didn't clap for me. And then maybe you didn't realize I happen to be the oldest here.
You don't look it though, so. Good afternoon, beautiful ladies and everyone else. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Adora Luminambelu. I always start off by saying that I'm a bright light. I think one of the things I'm really passionate about is helping people discover and express their best selves in whatever way that I can. Very passionate about people, very passionate about learning. I also consider myself to be very visionary, so I tend to pioneer and go into spaces where people haven't necessarily been. And it's not because I just want to go there for the sake of it, but it's because I'm really passionate about solving problems. So I'm always looking for problems to solve. And so currently I am building Creatorium, which is one of the most impactful creator ecosystems out of the African continent. We focus on creator education, creator visibility and monetization, as well as creator media. We currently have the biggest creator show out of Nigeria at the moment. I'm not doing that just because of fun. I'm doing that because I have found problems in the creator industry, and I have been in this space for over 15 years, so I'm always looking for how to solve our problems. I have an 11-year-old son, so when I'm not out being in leadership positions, he's actually my real oga, because he doesn't care that I've been here. All he sees is, you were late for school pickup, but I was speaking to but yeah, that's it about me.
Thank you. So I think it's right to say we're in good company to talk about the multidimensional woman, who a woman is as a leader in the professional space, in your homes, in your family. So let's get on right with it. And I think my first question is going to go to Dr. Nkechi. We have to give you the honors. So basically, how do you manage the different roles you play today? You're a professional, you're a mentor, you said it that you enjoy working with people and seeing people be the best of them. So how do you manage all that, the social networking, the professional networking, without becoming overwhelmed? Because again, as women, we are emotional. At our core is our emotions. How do you do all this without getting overwhelmed?
Thank you very much. That word overwhelmed is not in my dictionary, because I start my day by trying to define what my day will be like. And how do I do that? First of all, I'm very self-aware. And I also have added some emotional intelligence to it. Now, being self-aware means that I know my strengths. I know the kind of things I can do. I know what I have proposed to do for that day. So clarity becomes very important for me. And what does clarity do for me? Clarity helps me to define the kind of things I would respond to. Those things that matter to me, those things that are important to me, not to you. Now, why is it to me? It's to me because I have a goal in life. I have a purpose in life. And I have the things I have planned to do. I have my passion. So whatever I want to do must align with those things. So I need clarity every day. And so that clarity helps me to ignore those things that I don't need. It also defines where I enter and where I do not enter, what I respond to and what I do not respond to. And having said that, I also make sure that I'm able to sift, even in those things that matter. I'm able to sift the most important and the less important. In other words, I prioritize. Because, well, sorry, I'm a Christian. I'm going to make allusion to my Bible, if you don't mind. So there's a scripture that says that I know how to abound in law, and I know not everything is law, but not everything is expedient. So they may all be important, but they are not urgent. So what are those things that are urgent? What are those things that are important? What are those things that will lead me to my next step? So these are the things that have defined who I am. And then, of course, I've also been able to build some systems around myself. What are those systems that I would build to help me have a balance with who I want to be and how I'm going to be who I want to be? So I think in a nutshell, so I don't take up all the time. I could go on talking about this the whole day, but so in a nutshell, this is what has been my survival instinct, my survival journey, you know. So
Thank you, Dr. Ekechi. So I guess that means that for us here, I think what I've taken out of that is don't stretch yourself thin. You should always be able to have your buckets. What are the glass balls and the plastic balls? The things I have to do now that if I don't do it, it's going to shatter. Plastic balls, I can always come back to you. You won't break where I've left you. Adeka, you wear so many hats, and I just want to know, or we want to know, how do you go through all that? What boundaries or systems have you created? So when you are an advocate, you're an advocate. How do you not take advocacy into your next role? How do you just do the balance all through there?
Thank you very much. So I think every part fits into the other. And so for context, I work as executive director for a non-profit. I am a lead consultant for financial services, SME development. I have an agro business that we're trying to scale. I'm a facilitator trainer. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a friend and different things. However, I think the question you're asking is in terms of roles, and the word is balance. And the other word is interconnectivity. It's one person doing all of this, and just like we've given microphone across the room to all the ladies, you can hear that nobody is one thing, and that's how God created us, even men. But here we're talking about the ladies. And that shows in how we show up every single time, what we do even in our personal lives. So balance is the word, because every skill that you have in a certain role will be useful in another role. And the important thing is that, again, lessons that you learn in another role would help you to be able to propel forward in another role. So the important thing is to know exactly for whatever you have your hands on, what do you want to achieve? Once you have a goal and you can put a simple plan to it and identify the people you want to run with, simplicity is strategic. And so it helps you, just like Dr. Nkechi said, to sift within the noise. You know, this is where the world is noisy. Now, but when you have a focus, it helps you to be able to say, okay, so despite all of this noise, where are we going? If you get distracted momentarily, it helps you to be able to look at it and say, oh, your eyes are off the mark at this point. So there is no silo. Mother, daughter, head of partnerships for Leadway, or you run or work with an NGO, whatever it is, they're all interconnected. What's important is to enjoy balance, enjoy what you do, set goals to focus on, put simple plans in place to help you to do it, and when you need support, please always ask for support. Very important. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think what I hear the most there is the interconnectedness. So basically, your ability to take the problem you've solved somewhere or the lessons you've learned in one aspect and just use it in another aspect when you come into it. So that's great. Thank you. So Dr. Chinyere, in your role leading LCCI, I mean, that's not you've said it is the oldest Chamber of Commerce in West Africa. So you face a significant role in the economic and industry pressures and decisions around it. How do you build resilience? How do you stay motivated? Because you go into the office today, there's one challenge, and then the next morning you have to be back there. How do you keep yourself in that awakeness to say, this is what I'm here to do, this is my role, and I always have to conquer?
Okay, thank you very much. And the question really has been answered by the other panelists because it's everything put together. the important thing is to know what it is that you need to achieve. Like you rightly said, the glass balls and the plastic balls.
Yeah.
And for you to also know that the balls are not glass or plastic all the time. As times and seasons change, a glass ball can actually become plastic, and a plastic ball can actually become glass. So you need to be alert and aware to know when these changes occur, because if you assume that a glass ball is glass all the time, then in its different season, you're paying attention to something that's not really important. There are no consequences if nothing happens to that thing. So as a woman who is multidimensional, remember that at the end of the day, we all have 24 hours. God isn't going to give anybody any extra hours just because now you're multidimensional and you need more time. You can't borrow time from somebody else. So we all have these 24 hours. And to a large extent, we have energy levels that will span the time, the 24 hours, or even shorter. So you must know the things that you should do and things that you shouldn't do at any point in time. And my panelists have spoken to that. But the thing then is, how do you then stay motivated, right? During the fireside chats, she talked about having a conviction, knowing the purpose for which this work is, what the work is to achieve, what impact do you want to make. So if you think that, like the story where they said a man is digging, and they're asking him, what are you building? What are you building? And he's saying to them, I'm building a skyscraper. He's digging a foundation. He said, I'm building a skyscraper. That's what keeps him motivated. I'm going to build a skyscraper. But if you think that you're going to just build a thatch house or a little house, then you lose motivation. There's no impact. What is the impact? So always think about the work that you do and the bigger picture. Let's even just say you're a front desk officer, and you come, oh God, this work, every day I come and I say hello to somebody. How about changing your mindset? You are there because you are the access to the entire organization. Nobody can see. You are the representative. You are the ambassador of the whole group. That changes your mindset. That energizes you. That now look, the impact is bigger than just coming to the office. So for me, I know in my mind, when I got to the room, it was clear to me that this role was bigger than what everybody was seeing. So if people ask me, I remember when you see them and you tell them your trajectory, and you say, oh, you were in PwC for about 20 years, and then I went to the World Bank Group for about 10 years, and then they say, how can you come to a chamber? What are you looking for? And I am able to say that it's not just a Lagos chamber. It's an access, a gateway to trade in West Africa. And now that we're speaking AFCFTA, man, I am the gateway. Anybody who wants to trade in Africa, talk to me. Talk to me. It changes the narrative. So you must know what your impact is. What are you trying to achieve? And build it as big as it should be. Sometimes we think small and we play small. So our energy level, your body, just the energy you have will kind of come slower because you're not thinking big. Once you are able to think the sky, your body naturally builds up momentum for that. So think how big your role is. It's not just ticking off the box, it's something bigger. Think about that. Also for me, when I think resilience isn't, it's good to think, oh, I'm resilient. But I don't know that I'm resilient all the time. Sometimes I'm weak and not really resilient, and I don't want to keep moving. But I think that resilience is also knowing where you draw your strength from. Where do you draw your strength from? For me, I draw my strength from my faith in God. That is a source of strength that I don't even play with. But remember that sometimes, because we are busy people, we are multidimensional, we are doing all of these things, trying to save the world all before 10 a.m., sometimes you don't even have that time to connect. You realize that you're not connecting. So that's where that point about being self-aware, knowing when you're depleting, knowing when you need to refill, because you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you're not, building yourself up, you can't help others. So my resilience is from the fact that I need to support others, so I need to build myself first, and I need to draw strength from my source, which is God, and then all other things will flow from there. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Chinere. Okay, so you've touched on my second question, but then I'll give it back to Adora to say that, and for Adora, you say you like problems. You look for them to solve them. And to me, that's demanding because the typical Lola is, this is problem, go that way. So for someone that goes in the face of problem, how do you handle the demands of work, especially when, and I mean, it will get overwhelming. When it gets overwhelming, how do you stay anchored and not burn out? To still say, oh yeah, that's another problem next week, I'm going after it.
Okay, so I think I need to contextualize that. I'm not actively chasing problems. But I think also, even just as a visionary and someone who's creating or building on the African continent, like, resilience is a muscle we must build, right? In other parts of the world, like, you're creating the thing, you just have to think about creating the thing, and then you show up and you create the thing. You were talking, Dr. Chinere, about skyscraper. It's like you just conceptualize the skyscraper, you have the blueprint, you have the right people to build it, you show up and you build it. In Nigeria, you show up and they'll first ask you where's the permit for building the skyscraper, and you spend 2 weeks chasing that. So that is a muscle we must build. I think for me, it's really just being grounded in why I'm doing the thing, right? It's just being grounded in that purpose. What is the reason? Who's going to benefit as a result of my existence in this world? That's what I always go back to. And I think that anchors me, even as I move forward on my journey. And I always remind myself that it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? I think that one of the things that leads quickly to burnout, especially with women, is the comparison game. Is a lot of times we're running other people's races. Mm-hmm. You look to the left, you look to the right, and it feels like people are thriving and you're not. And you don't necessarily, put things in the context of your own life and what season you're in that moment. I like to always put things in the context of my life. I look at my pillars, what is most important to me, where someone else, I optimize for productivity, but I also optimize for health, for good health, because I know that I want longevity and sustainability with what it is that I'm building. So where someone else might go hard, and speak at 50 million events, I will not choose that because I know what's important to me and I know what pillars suffer when I make a decision like that, right? And the other way around. So I really just, for me to avoid burnout, it is, and for women to avoid burnout, right, it is important that we zoom in and really be clear. And all the beautiful ladies, women here have talked about just like being clear about who you are and what you want. Because we don't all want the same things. And sometimes you're looking at someone and being like, oh, this person wants to take over the world. Maybe you don't. And we have to give ourselves grace in that regard, that not everybody's like me. And so I can't sit in that place of ego and expect that you want the same thing as me. So why is this person not taking up a leadership role? Maybe they're really good at nurturing, and that nurturing is important. Right? So for me, I lean into, in every season, just to summarize this, in every season, I lean into, who do I want to be in this particular situation and in this particular season, and I sit there. And I don't necessarily look around to see what other people think or feel about the role that I'm playing in that moment, because in this moment, I might just want to be nurturing. And I'm not going to spend energy trying to prove to you that Adora is a go-getter, so therefore she must always be on. I don't want to be on. I want to be, chilled. Yeah.
And I think for that just says to us that take the pressure off yourself. Just take the pressure off yourself. And do you, every season you find yourself, do you, what is that value in that season? So Dr. Nkechi, you've had a long and impactful career in public relations. I must applaud you, public people. What habits and daily practices would you say has constantly helped you to thrive in that dimension of your life, dealing with people, and people can be badly behaved. People is a mix of everything, good, bad, and ugly. What are those things, the daily practices, the different strategies that have kept you in that space, and not just kept you there, but you've been successful in that space? Because at the end of the day, we all have to deal with people.
Thank you very much. If you are into public relations, well, the journalists have their own field, but public relations is a crazy world. And then to survive in that field, you just have to have some non-negotiables. And then you have to be deliberate, you have to be intentional. And then you have to also understand people, because without your understanding of people, you cannot survive in public relations. Because all you do, just like he says, is relating with the public. And so to relate with the public, you have to know who the public is. And then, having worked in the corporate world also, you also know that the public is also defined, is targeted, is segmented. And so for you to actually survive, it means that you must also understand that human beings cannot all be put in one compartment. So you have to intelligently, deliberately, intentionally, strategically compartmentalize your audience. In other words, you segment them, you study them, know their stakes. Because if you don't know their stakes also, you are not going to survive in public relations. So it's actually knowing the audience, segmenting them, and then coming up with strategies that will help you to get what you want to get from each stakeholder. Now, having said that, you as a practitioner, what has helped me is, again, like I said, I'm very self-aware. You must know your strengths, and you must define your version of success, right? I mean, like Adora said, we have this comparison. My version of success in public relations is that I'll be able to create a conducive environment for my clients to survive in their business. That's my version of success in public relations. And in doing that, I don't care, your own version in public relations might be to get all the accounts and do profiling. So I was able to carve a niche for myself. I started public relations, I joined public relations by accident in 1995. Maybe some people were not even born here. Don't worry, it's understandable. Were you? Okay, you were not. Okay, when I left in 2000 or so, I can't remember, I realized that there was a gap in training. I could easily have gone for proper profiling and all that, but I went into training because I knew I had a passion there. I had a strength, which I call skills, but I didn't have the passion to match those skills. So I needed to define my own version of success, and I went into it, and I'm still there. And so that is something that has helped me over time. And what else? I also know that with public relations, you can't do it alone. All right? And success does not mean you being all over the place. I mean, like women, some of us, you see somebody with locked hair, I think that's where I want to go. Or you see somebody with high, that's where I want. No, you have to define your own lane. And that is what I've done in public relations. And then I'll say that it has been a very rewarding journey. I've been able to, when you bring me a business I know I don't have the capacity for, I'm able to reach out to my fellow consultants, knowing that there's a core competence that is needed in that area. I think that has actually defined my success, because I don't do things I don't have the strength for, no matter how lucrative that business is. If I don't have the core competence, I don't go in there. And so I do things that people would applaud me for. And I don't go into rooms where people do not celebrate me. So I don't do businesses that do not also celebrate me. So these are the few things that have helped me in this industry. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Adenka, being a woman that navigates multiple responsibilities, and you cut across different sectors of life, how do you advise other women here, especially the young women, the upcoming ones? How do you advise them when it comes to staying true to yourselves, to themselves and their ambitions? Like Dr. Ekechi has clearly said, she doesn't go into spaces that doesn't speak to her strength. She's not exact. She's tolerated instead of being welcomed. Now, how do we get, and in the environment we're in now, the digital age, there is always somebody new that is the model woman. So how do young women navigate all these complexities, but they stay true to themselves and their ambitions?
Thank you very much. That's an interesting, complex, and simple question when you're combining this. I've been around a bit over 40 years. I've tried small. Understand what you want for yourself. I didn't know why I was introducing myself, or when I was asked to introduce myself, there's a lot of undefined competition in the world today. And interestingly, God didn't create two same person. Your fingerprint is one defining way to see every day when you wake up if there's something special about you. The most identical twins in the world don't have the same fingerprints. So if you don't if you don't understand who you are, put a definition to what you want, we all might be working with Leadway. We all might be working with any other organization. However, the goals is what keeps your focus. This is myself. This is what I want to achieve here. And every single day when you wake up, no matter how slim, have something in focus, even on your job role. And one thing that is very important is to ensure that you know that there are seasons. What carried you through our World Bank Group experience is not what is carrying. She's my IFC sister. We used to be in the World Bank Group together, yeah? It's not what is carrying. If you ask Dr. Nkechi what carried her in her 20s, 30s, is not what's carrying her right now. And it's very important to give yourself grace to understand that this season will always be different than the other. My final thoughts are going to talk especially about this. So let me deviate a bit and talk about, while it seems as if things are going well with you, what are some of the systems you are putting in place just in case life happens? Life always happens. And it happens for all of us in different ways. So, say for example, if you work a 9 to 5, you don't own it, please raise up your hand. You work a 9 to 5, you don't own it, please, very quickly. Own it above your head. Thank you very much. I'm glad I asked that question. So you earn very well right now. If something happened to your organization and tomorrow, and you need to stay home for 12 months, can you feed yourself and your dependents? If tomorrow you're forced to start a business, or you choose, there is choice and there is coercion, right? To start a business, would you be able to have what we call owner's equity? Money that you will start with while you're looking for either investment or grants, whatever way. Why did I ask that question? I always ask it, and that means be conscious of defining who you are. That helps you to define every action you want to take. And so even when you find a newbie on social media or doing something, just like Adora said, the interesting thing is, when I saw her face this morning, I went back into my skull to try and remember, and I recall that I saw passing sometime when she had a structure that was demolished. Aha. So now the thing is, when you put these simple steps in place, it means that there is no failure-proof plan in this world. Take that and keep it. However, what you do with having a simple plan is that whatever tweaks life throws at you, you can be able to stay balanced. You can wobble, but you can stay balanced. I think I'm taking too much time, but however, the important thing is understand yourself, define who you are, so that when you find somebody who is carrying and bragging about a 1.5 million week, you don't get distracted.
You just go to the barber's shop and put night zig on the style and show off anyhow. Because why? You know where you're going, and therefore the resources, human resources, financial resources that come along your way, you can make the most of them as much as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And to wrap up our session, we're going to open the floor for questions. If we have any question from the audience before my panelists are able to go, please raise your hand so a microphone can be passed to you. Okay. Tolani? Yes, anybody can answer. And if you have a particular person you want to hear from. So let's start from, sorry, excuse me, the first person was there.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, beautiful women. Thank you very much. So I have a question with respect to balance. As a woman, is there anything like work-life balance?
Okay, so let's take that question.
Take that. I can take that. Okay, so so work-life balance is English words, a English phrase. Work-life balance, and it could mean anything to anybody. So everything we've said here about knowing who you are, knowing what's important, all of those will be important in deciding whether there's work-life balance or not. Also, when you think of work-life balance, are you thinking of 50-50? Is that balance for you, or 50-40, or 30-30-10? So, sometimes when people say, is there work-life balance? I'm wondering, what question are you really asking? Because it depends on what percentages you put to all the things that you're supposed to do. Also, I think in a sense, what you have a lot of time is work-life negotiation. Because you're constantly having to negotiate every day in terms of how you shift it. Yeah? But if you want to add more English to the matter, you can also call it work-life integration. Because at the end of the day, you are one person. You can be multidimensional all you want, but you are one life. And being able to express yourself in multiple ways, that is fine. So nobody's going to try and box you. So like we all described ourselves when we started, where we are many things. In fact, we are many things to many people. Yeah? So whether you call it work-life balance, work-life negotiation, or work-life, there are two things, work and life, they are both there. So whatever else, other word you add to it, you must recognize that, that there's a limit to what you can do at any point in time. You must recognize that seasons change. And when seasons change, different things evolve. When seasons change, stakeholders are different, expectations are different, and you must understand that. The last thing I will say about work-life balance, we women like work-life balance, is the fact that sometimes, that balance, if you add other people to that balance, it helps you stand properly. And I can say that because, like I said, my oldest is 27, and I've been working for 30 years. So it was in the work that I did all the burning of Peking. So you must understand that there are things that you don't have to do yourself. Somebody else can do it. There are things that you just need to negotiate and understand who is best placed to support you in this. So never think that, because now I know I have to balance work and life, everything is balancing on my head. No. You find others whose head can balance the things so that the balance can be properly balanced. Yes? So, yes, that's how I will answer that question. So always understand what's at stake, who are the stakeholders, what are their expectations, what do they need, who else can provide what they need. It doesn't always have to be you.
Can I add something to that? Thank you so much.
Okay.
Do you mind? Yeah, okay. I want to touch on something you mentioned, which is integration, right? Is also that work-life balance looks different to different people, right? Some people will say, I want to go to the spa. I don't have any interest in going to the spa, right? And I think one of the things that I had to learn was what nurtures me, right? What nurtures me, and how can I lean into the things that nurture me? And in terms of integration, so for example, I know that one of the best ways that I can spend what I would call quality time with my kid, other than taking them for ice cream or, being in the house with them, is I actually integrate him into my work, right? So I take him if we're having an outreach, I'm doing some NGO work, I take him and he's learning and he's enjoying the experience, right? So sometimes just also finding what works for you, because work-life balance doesn't look the same across different places. Creativity nurtures me. I like to be on with creativity. So I'm always, I don't work to the point of burnout, but I also understand that it nurtures me. So I don't want to kill it, right? So even when so one of the other things that nurtures me is conversation. So even when I know that I need to lean into more of the calm, right? I will maybe call a bunch of friends. I like to lean into my community, hang out, have conversations. I'll still find myself, moving into listening to them or wanting to be creative in the conversation. And I don't have any guilt about it. So that's very important. You have to know, like, am I really feeling guilty about this work-life balance thing because it doesn't look like yours? Because that's a lot of women carry that, that guilt of just, I'm not like her. I'm not going to the spa as much as her. I'm not, hanging out with friends as much as her. But is that what you want? And does that really nurture you? Maybe not. So it's important to look at that for yourself. Dr. Kechi, go ahead.
Let me just add one little thing, because they've actually said a lot about it. I was having this argument in the car with my daughter this morning about work-life balance, and she had her own version, I have my own version. And one thing we agreed is that work-life balance is not something that comes immediately. It evolves. And how does it evolve? There are a lot of things that must be in place, like they both mentioned. For instance, which work are you balancing if you don't know where you're going? All right? So work-life balance can only take place if, for instance, you know your version of success, you know your priorities, and most importantly, you have been able to build, I keep emphasizing it, build systems that will help you to balance this work and life. Like she said, you need people. You need relationships. You need yourself. And why do I say you need yourself? A lot of us here, we've not validated ourselves. We keep looking for people to validate us. I mean, in this room, I feel I'm the youngest. I feel I'm the most beautiful. I feel I'm the tallest.
You are.
That is your business. So, so I feel I'm God's masterpiece. Yeah. So what you feel about yourself is your business. So for me to balance this, I must look for people, like I said, that will validate what I have already validated about me. So one of my version of success is peace. And if I know, for instance, look at this pretty woman, dark, beautiful, ebony black, and beautiful what she's wearing. So, and I know, and I know that is my nature. So, see the good and beauty in people. So to balance me all the time, I must always see the good in people. If I move away from there, I will not be balanced. So to have that work balance, you must be self-aware. You must be emotionally intelligent. You must prioritize. You must delegate. You must be independent. You must have money. That's the cocoa of the matter. You must have money, not money to, and this money is relative. For me, money that buys me my good clothes, my good food, my peace, and peace means when I want to go to Chinese, I go. When I want to visit a Madanek at LCC and go with me with a bottle of champagne, I go. That's peace. Not because I want to buy a yacht that I know I cannot afford. Women, stay in your economic lane. Don't go and be looking for, is it Bone Straight they call it? Bone Straight. You want to carry iPhone 16, but your salary does not say so. Be proud to use Samsung A21 that they said 20K. Yes. Yeah, whatever. Be proud to carry your stomach. Be proud to carry your bag. Forget it. Yeah. So that is what brings about balance. You as a person must first of all be balanced. Balanced in who you are. Balanced in your strengths, in your weaknesses, knowing the threats around you. Otherwise, you go through life being unbalanced. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next question, please. Hi, good afternoon. Okay, I have to say, this is my favorite panel ever in the history of all the conferences I've been going. We're used to hearing women talk about women in such a way that, oh, you just have to face your job, face your family, and that's it. This is the first panel that I'm seeing talking about how women are actually multidimensional. You go after what you want, be unapologetic about it. So once again, thank you very much. But I want to get a bit personal with my question, though. The reality of burnout. You talked about being careful not to get to burnout, but the honest truth is, at some point in all your careers, you've hit that. And burnout is not a one-time thing. You hit it at multiple stages of it. How do you get yourself out of it? It's hard, it's difficult, it's painful. But how do you get yourself? How have you been able to get yourself out regardless of how many times you hit that burnout? Sorry, it's a two-part question. Then the second part of it is, when you do a project now, when you talk about, oh, I've done this thing, I've achieved it, I see that it's going well, what's next for me? Because growth is the most important aspect for everybody in this room. And then I want to bring that in, I want to navigate it. How do you determine when you get to that stage that, okay, I'm ready for the next thing? Thank you very much.
I can answer that. Let me try. Let me try. It's a very multi-dimensional question. Let's start with the burnout question, which is a reality for most women, particularly when you have young children. It's kind of, at that time, you're running around them, they're important, husband is important, in-law, everything, then work. People at work don't care about the family, people at the family, they're not thinking about the work you have to do. But you have to kind of present yourself at those stations and be smiling, yeah? Regardless of what is going on. Okay, so I have also been there. I guess for me today, I can look back and be able to explain your question. That when I was in PwC, so it was like a pressured place to work at the time. It was one of those kind of very pressured places. You had clients, you had to do audit, and then if you're close to year end, it's like madness, right? But regardless, you have to be home, you have to cook, you have to wash, you have to clean and all that. One thing that helped me was being able to having the courage to have the conversation, right? Conversation with everybody who is a stakeholder in this matter. So at some point, it's conversation with Mr. Husband. To say, you know, I got back very late. I had to wake up very early the following morning. This like fresh breakfast and laid out table may not always work. Please, before we go to work. So to have that, both to have the conversation. But it's also not just him, but all the other people. So sometimes you have in-laws staying with you and you have to have the conversation. So courage to constantly have those conversations will be very helpful. It doesn't resolve everything, but it will be very helpful because then people can see where you stand with things. They can see also that it's not like you're lazy, right? When things are at the low, you bring yourself to the table, you do all of those things. So I'm not saying, oh, Mr. Husband, you know, this food stuff, I'm not going to be cooking the food though. You know, I'm a career woman. No, is that when there's pressure, you please give me some space. When there's no pressure, I bring myself to the table and I do what I'm supposed to do. That way you're credible because they know that it is not a permanent thing. It's not a permanent runaway mom. It's the fact that this situation calls for. So that's what's important, that you are able to present yourself. When there's no pressure, you do what you're supposed to do. That's one. Secondly, I think everybody here, we've all described what makes you tick, where you draw your strength from. The things that excite you, the things that inspire you, the things that, all of those things that can keep your energy high. Pay attention to them. Sometimes they're small things. So for me, when I tell people, oh, I've written 12 books, hey, how are you able to write? You are there. And I said to them, I'm able to write only because I distress by writing. So find that thing where you kind of put out the stress. So when no matter how pressured I am, just being able to journal, write things down helps me. So find that thing that helps you. Yes, release the tension, release the stress, because you always have those times when the stress will come. Okay, let's talk about growth, right? The question is, how do I know when it's time to step into the next level? Sometimes you are, the current level, you've done it, you've seen it, it's no more exciting. Now you like every human being, that's an innate need to then look for something else. But then what do? I said to people, one of the things that have helped me is build capacity. Self-development is critical. Read, do courses, little things here and there. They build your skill. So that when it is time to then step out into the next level, you are skilled. You have something. Sometimes we women, I want to grow. It promotes me. If you promote the person to the next level, you're promoting the person to failure because the person hasn't built capacity. So it's critical for you that as you build capacity, like I was reading something and I saw a quote that said, don't shrink yourself to fit a role. Build capacity and the role will reshape for you. So it's to build capacity all the time. That's what grows you, that you're able to do more, you're able to speak, you're able to engage. Whatever it is, it may not be in my area, whatever it is, it may be, how do I speak differently? How do I speak better? Whatever it is. But let us be people who want to learn, who want to, improve themselves. Always seek to improve yourself wherever you are. And growth will happen. Because then sometimes people will look for you because now you have something else that others do not have. People will look for you because you're somebody who is constantly seeking knowledge and others maybe know. And people will look for you because you know a bit more, you can solve more problems. So they will look for you. So growth will almost find you if you're always, building capacity, building yourself, improving yourself as you go along.
Thank you,
that's
Dr.
a long version.
Thank you, Dr. Chiri. And before I pass the mic to the rest of my panelists for the last words, I'm just going to take something off what she has said. So when she introduced herself earlier, she told us that she had written 12 books. And I'm sure a couple of people would have thought, I've not written one book. But guess what? Writing is how she distressed.
Yeah.
Writing is how she distressed. So back to what we've been saying to say, what is your own definition of success? Do not compare yourself, because writing to you could be a chore, but that's how she relaxes. And that's why she has written 12 books. Okay, so I'm going to pass on the mic now to the rest of the panelists to have their last words before we wrap up this session. So Adora, will start with you.
My last words. My last words are to offer. Yeah. Good one. My last word is actually, I want to offer perspective to the burnout question, just because I think that it's so important, right? And that would be my end. I think that it's really important for us to understand that there are different types of burnout, okay? And the reason why I'm leaning into this is because I've met with so many people who take all of this advice that has been shared around burnout, and it doesn't work for you. Because in order for you to solve a problem, you have to know what led to that, right? Now, there's emotional burnout, there's mental burnout, there's spiritual burnout, there's physical burnout. Sometimes you're treating the symptoms of physical burnout, but there are loops in your brain that are not closed. And that's why some people will tell their spouses, oh, please, can you hang out with the kids for the next 2 weeks? And that wouldn't help. It wouldn't take you out of that burnout space and you'll say to yourself, oh, even after all this community and all these people are helping me out, why do I still feel like this? sometimes the reason why you still feel like that are multi reasons. One could be there's something you're processing over and over again that you haven't done. It's an unclosed loop, right? It could be a decision that you need to make. It could be a hard conversation that you need to have, right? That you're afraid to have, and so that's creating an energy drain. Because what is burnout? Burnout is an energy drain, right? So there's always different things that could cause it. So you have to, I think when you're in the burnout space, it's to, first of all, embrace your humanity, right? Give yourself that grace, but stay in the, like everyone wants to rush out of it. Everyone wants to be okay the next day. No. Find out what led me down this path and be honest with yourself. Because when you're self-reflect, you know, it's different when you're when you're verbalizing to friends and to people. When you're saying things, you sugarcoat it, there's a whole story. And that's why I love that Dr. Nkechi keeps talking about self-awareness, right? Is sitting with yourself and saying, what really is causing this thing for me? And what loops do I need to close? What decisions do I need to make? What hard conversations do I need to have? What do I need to stop running away from? What would really make me feel whole again before you can start to move? That would be like my final word. So embracing your humanity as people, leaning into yourself, self-reflecting, and then finding ways to then leap out. So don't try to leap out fast.
Thank you, Adora. I'll leave you with two things. Well, it could also still answer your burning out question. You know, when I look at women, I'm happy I'm a woman. I don't want to be a man. But the woman is one that has been burdened with so many things. The woman is the child that came to the world with a lot of scripts written for her. How to be a good wife, a good daughter, a good this, a good that, how to treat your in-laws, how to do that. But I want you, in order for you not to burn out, I think it's time you began to interrogate those scripts written for you. And once you are able to interrogate those scripts, you'll now be able to set boundaries for yourself. If you don't set boundaries for yourself, you definitely will burn out. I know some of us, I'm talking from experience, because we want to please our husband, we want to be the good wife. You are the cook, you are the washerman, you are the dry cleaner, you are the ironer, you are the market, you are the dispatch rider, you are the nanny, you are the, you know, you are still the lover. Take it easy. Spiritual as if you are the prophetess. You are the prayer warrior. You are the mountain. Oh my God. No. Set a boundary for yourself. This is how far me, Nkechi Ali Balogun, can go. I'm not for that in my house. When I shut down, my husband can scream from here to Jericho, I want fried rice, I want I have shut down. This kitchen is closed. This mouth is closed for the day. So, again, I'll still go back to self-awareness. All right? I don't know how many of you know about the Johari window. Yeah. Know yourself. And let me also add, women, you are stronger than you make yourself to appear. If you were not strong, God will not make you a helper. There is an enormous strength God has built inside of you. But because you have not been able to discover, go into self-discovery, self-awareness, so that you know your strengths and set your boundaries. Once you set your boundaries, you are good to go. You never burn out. And then stop wanting to please people. Don't dress to please a man. Dress to please yourself. Me first. You know when you are inside the plane, what do they tell you? There's an accident, if there's a crisis, fix yourself. Even before that child you waited 100 years to have. Me first. Once you do that, you are good to go. And I know that you will always be on top.
Thank you. My final words are wording. Okay, so the global hashtag or theme this year is Give to Gain. So my final words as to ensure that you can show off are, I coined it a bit, GAINNS. I'll quickly run through it. Number one, govern your finances, govern your life. Have simple plans for investment. Don't eat all that you earn. You've heard it from everybody. Money that enables you to achieve your goals, not that enables you to oppress other people. You are here for yourself, so focus first of all. Govern your life, get skills. Second A is accountability. Identify those who can help to keep your eyes on your goal, on your focus. Challenges will come. Life is not that easy, but when you have people who can help to keep you on track, it makes it a lot easier. I, innovation, creatively approach your work, take calculated risk, and on the role as a businesswoman, or if you have a role at work, take on extra if you do have the capacity for it. Network, your circle, those you want to add value to you, and also those who you can add value to as much as possible. Naysayers, for every idea that you have, somebody else who either does not know themselves or is afraid has 1,000 reasons why you should not do that. So find out your goals, surround yourself with people who boost you up, and keep focus on your focus. S is the last one, systems and support. We've heard it again. Delegate, rest, automate, and as much as possible, you are at a stage, just like Dr. Nkiti and everybody said, there's a stage where you do all the washing yourself and all the ironing. But when you do get to some places, it's not creative for you. It's a waste of your time as a person. So understand your season. In your final words, on your way to blooming and becoming, remain focused, choose yourself, pursue, but do it at your pace. Stop shrinking. That thing that you're afraid of most likely may not come to pass. So what if that thing that looks like a challenge is the one that would help you to become who you want to be? Thank you so very much.
Okay, so please indulge me. My first book is titled Divine Orchestration. So some things happened that you didn't plan. So it's interesting that I'm the last person speaking. And when I was leaving the house this morning, I took 2 copies of my book and I said to myself, I'll give these books to the people who ask questions. And see, 2 people ask questions. So my last my last word is just really from this book. This one is The Future Focused Female Leader, and I'm going to give it to her. So this book, I wrote this book from the backdrop of my failures. I didn't start my career being successful. I failed at a lot of things. I was an introvert, never spoke at anything, didn't like myself much, but I came through all of that. So I wrote this book with all the things that I knew that having learned them and grown with them, they're helpful for leaders. So I wrote The Future Focused Female Leader. So this book is more recent, Ways Women Lead Well. And I want to read an excerpt from this book because I want you all to know that you are really more than you think that you are, and you have more than you think you have. The section I want to read is about women feeling like we are disadvantaged, we've gone for, there's a career break, and we don't know what to do with ourselves, and all of those. So I'll read that little excerpt because I think it will encourage everyone to understand. And it's on page 90, and I'm going to give this book to you. Yes. Okay, so I'll just read that very quickly. I once mentored a young lady who had taken time off to raise her 2 children. During one of our conversations, she mentioned that she was concerned about her career prospects. At that time, when we were speaking, she had just gone back to work, and she was worried that she might lack the requisite skills for the marketplace at that time. As we spoke, I asked her, do you know any man at your age and level who has practical expertise in stakeholder management, peacekeeping, crisis management, conflict resolution, resource mobilization, dispute resolution, negotiation, and a lot of other things? She said an emphatic no, but she had this puzzled look on her face. How is it even possible for somebody to have all of these things I've mentioned? So I asked her, having raised 2 children, maintained harmonious relationships at home, coordinated your in-laws, their needs and their interests, kept Mr. Husbands happy, which of these skills have you not demonstrated? So she still looked puzzled, but you could see that she was a bit more confident. Like, no, I'm a better person now. So sometimes the skills you have at home, the things you go through, they are like your label. You can do so much. Go into that room confident. When they're talking about negotiation, why haven't you negotiated when you are negotiating between a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old? Nobody can negotiate better than you. So please, when they're asking you, what skills do you have? Don't say, hey, I just came back. I don't know. No. Your skills are transferable. They are transferable here, locally, and abroad. They are transferable everywhere. So that would be my end. And I think this is for you. This is my gift for those who ask questions, and this is for you.
Let me just add one word while they are taking the pictures. For your own mental health, women, for your mental health, every woman must have a cousin Elizabeth. If you are a Christian, you know what I mean. You must have a cousin Elizabeth. In other words, you must have one cheerleader. You must have one person, that one person you go to confide in. Don't bottle things. Don't keep it inside. Learn to exhale. A lot of women are going through depression today because they are afraid that this person will laugh at me, this person. No. Have a cousin Elizabeth that you run to when things are okay, when things are not okay. When you need somebody to push you, somebody to believe in you. Please don't keep bottling things up. You are not the worst of women. If you hear the other person's story, you know that, in fact, it's like the Chinese adage that said you were crying you had no shoes until you met somebody without legs. So yours is not the worst. It is always better than someone else's. Thank you.
A round of applause for...
Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you to my panelists. It was a great, insightful time. And to just close for me, we've heard a lot about having your own money, having your finances set right. At Leadway, we have products, investment products, savings plans that can help you do this. So feel free to have conversations with us at the end of this program. Thank you.
Okay, a round of applause. That was such an amazing session. An applause of gold. Premium gold. Thank you so much for your expertise, your experiences, and sharing them with us. Please, can I have on stage Toyosi Olatunji? Please, a round of applause as she comes. Join them on stage. Chief Project Officer, Leadway Group. Also, can I have Yemisi Rotimi on stage, please? That's Chief Financial Officer, Leadway Group. Can I also have Kumbi Adelti? That's Chief People Experience Officer, Leadway Group. Please, a round of applause as they join them on stage.
Show you are.
so beautiful. Do you mind if I show you all? Show you all, show you all. I'll be honest, I can't keep my hands to myself. It's your world, it's your world. Don't know no man I won't kill for your love. Yeah. Don't stop shining your lights on me, no. Lord of mercy. I'll be good, I'll be cool. Ain't no rush to take you home now. The night is young, we're still alive. You look so good, I just wanna show you all. To the world, let me show you all. Oh, you're so beautiful. Do you mind if I show you all? Show you all, show you all, show you all. Stepping over to show you all. To the world, let me show you all. Show you all. To the world, let me show you all. You're so beautiful. Do you mind if I show you all? Show you all, show you all, show you.
So much. That was such a great session, right? We are all inspired, Abby. We're going home fed. I mean, with the extra food by the side, but we've been fed. Thank you all so much for being here. Also, I remember we started the gamified session where we had the barcode on the screen. Can we please have the barcode on up again? Remember that the barcode, if you have any proposal, you have any idea you want to bring into realization, just scan the barcode and you would get a page to send your proposal. Thank you so much. And also, we have new faces. I'd like to have 2 persons who would show off as we had done earlier. And I've seen my first suspect. Here you go. Okay. Oh, I forgot that some persons are just coming in. When I give you the mic to show off, all you have to do is just show off, basically. Tell us about yourself, what you do, anything extra, anything special you want us to know.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, moderator. Thank you so much for this, So my name is Iyanolua, and I am the Learning Experience Manager at Hills and Tech. So what we do at Hills and Tech is that we train women or non-coding tech courses. And I'm also a wife, and I'm very hardworking, and I'm very passionate about my 9 to 5. I'm also an event planner, so I can say I'm a multi-dimensional woman. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, and thanks to every single one of you. I know we're about to leave, but can I just have like few minutes of your time? Can I please have Kumbi Adelti? That's the Chief People Experience Officer at Leadway. She's going to speak on Hersurred for just a few seconds before we wrap it up. I couldn't find you here. So please, a round of applause for Mrs. Kumbi Adelti. A round of applause, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. I see that everyone is walking out. This will take less than 5 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone for being here. Circumstances beyond my control. I wish I was here much earlier, but I was also with you because everything that was going on, I was getting in every bit of it. And it's good to see everyone looking radiant, bright. And I trust that you're going to carry that into the year. You know, your elegance, your gorgeousness. So I'm just going to speak quickly about Hersurred. And the theme for this year, I'm just going to tell us how we've lived that theme over the past 1 year, what Hersurred has done. As you all know, it's all about women, how we empower women to become who they are meant to be. And amongst us, we've talked about the women who have grown. We've seen the panelists telling you, bottom line of their conversation is take charge of your life. Don't give your life to someone else to take charge of. And when you do that, you rein in on your career, you rein in on your finances, you rein in on your mental posture, and you can be who you are meant to be. And in doing that, we keep giving back. We give to gain because we know that when a woman takes a sperm, what comes back? Children. We multiply what you give to us. And indeed, in that same vein, what have we done in the past few months? And I want to celebrate the corporate services team because they've taken the vision and they continue to exponentially multiply it. It looks as if my phone doesn't want to cooperate with me. Okay, so what have we done? I see that members of the team of Hills and, sorry, I hope I don't need extra pair of glasses. Yes, I'm in a better position now. Hills and Tech, I know they are here. Yes, thank you guys. We've been partnering with them. We've done digital skills for the future. We continue to empower. That was last year, and even this year we've done that. And we believe that, you see, as our world is evolving, it's important that digital skills is no longer a nice to have. It is a must have. And we keep giving back through that process and through the organization. How many of us were at Leadway Lifestyle Fair? How many of us? Oh, yes. Thank you, Julia. You definitely have to be part of that. Our fashionista in the house. And so that's part of what we've done. You know what? Come out in the elegance that you are. And it's about women-owned businesses where we give visibility to what we do. What do you do as your side hustle? Bring it out. Be you. Do you in a right way that builds not just your businesses. And of course, we heard what Omolola said. We support you to invest and build your brand. One of the things we've also done is about prioritizing health checks. We believe strongly in that. You need to be healthy to take care of your career, take care of your home and everyone else. It's as if the woman is at the center and then you have all the arrows pointing to everything else. But if you're not okay, you can't do that. And so we were part of that. We were raising awareness, especially about breast cancer. One of the places I had to be at today, it was a function of breast cancer that took the person's life. And so we really, really must focus on this. And then not only did we encourage the physical examination, we had a lot of webinars to create awareness, especially, and we continue to partner on comprehensive care with Masili Ruth Health Partnership. If they're in the house, thank you for supporting all we do. We were also in partnership with She Leads Africa, supporting women in terms of growth opportunities, collaboration, entrepreneurship, and career advancement. We were equally involved in Lagos Food Bank Initiative, where our focus was more about supporting mothers and ensuring the adequacy of well-balanced meals for the family and reinforcing our commitment to community care and inclusion. We were equally involved in Smile Initiative, uplifting and supporting women through meaningful interventions, quality life. And lastly, we collaborated on wine and design with Designer Babe. Yeah, again, as we do more of these things, we're not going to do just externally, but also internally. Our belief is that if we enable you, you then enable the communities that you influence. When your communities are influenced, not only, our world is global today, not only will Nigeria be influenced, because we then build better generations, better than us, because you can only give birth to a better version of you, not a worse version of you. And the more of that we do, we influence the global community that we belong to. So on this note, I want to say thank you to every one of you. And as you go back to your different businesses, the different things that you do to build the community that you do, please do it excellently. Do it with all diligence. And remember, you have also the community to support you. The road is not always smooth. We will have it as a meander. And that's why one of the panelists was telling you, have an Elizabeth that is your supporter, that is your cheerleader. There will always be someone in your group. And guess what? Your cheerleader enables you to see a better version of yourself. And with that, you can multiply and do greatness in your world. To you, as you give, we get better gains for our world. Thank you and have a beautiful day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was very, very enlightening. And shout out to all the partners. What's on the streets is that Mrs. Kumbi is quite passionate about building people-centric workplaces. And I believe that we felt somehow connected to her with that her speech. Right? Right? A round of applause for her again. As we wrap up, thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so, so, so much. This event wouldn't be what it is without you. Please, can we have a round of applause as we call on stage? Oh boy, okay. Calling up on stage, no one else. Okay, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, thank you so much for today. As you go back home, may you go back home in one piece. May everything you have learned today, you have heard, impact your life in a way that would impact the society and make our country a better place for us. Because we cannot all japa. Somebody has to fix this country. And it's you, it's me, it's all of us. I am Anastasia Rafwa. Thank you so much for doing this with us today. And I will see you in 2027 for Hersurred. Are we going to be there? Okay, thank you so much for joining us.